everyone, it's Marie here, welcome back to my channel. I'm taking part in the little bit spooky YouTube hop today, and I've decided to scrap these really cute photographs of my dog Bella wearing a little Halloween witch's hat. So because the theme was a little bit spooky and she's not spooky at all, I thought that was kind of a perfect mix of things to do. It was a cute photograph of the dog. She doesn't mind me dressing her up at all. So I've decided to go with some torn paper strips across the middle of my page, along with that cut file there, spooky, and that fits perfectly, doesn't it, with the theme of the hop, because it's a little bit spooky. Now this layout, I must just mention, it's sort of a scrapbook. It's definitely inspired by one of my really good friends, Rebecca, who is on the Peartree Cut Files design team. That's where the cut file is from, by the way, from Peartree Cut Files. She's from the design team with me, and she did a layout last year that was of 2 pumpkins, and she did it very similarly to this, and she had the same paper running through the middle, and I absolutely adored it. So I knew that I've been wanting to scrap lift it for a while. So it's kind of a scrap lift come inspiration style layout. So thank you very much to Rebecca for the inspiration for this. So I've decided it needs some colour in the background. Rebecca's had some as well. And I've decided to use my Distress Oxides, and I'm starting with crushed olive and just using that soft brush to spread some colour around. I'm starting placing the colour behind the papers that are on the page, and where they're going. I marked out roughly where they were going to go with a pencil before I started, because when you start you get that kind of lump of colour, and I didn't really want to be able to see that. I've also decided at this point that the colour crushed olive is not quite right, and I need some mowed lawn in there to just green it up a little bit. Like mowed lawn's almost too bright. Just the crushed olive is kind of a yellowy, so by merging them together, it works a bit better. I've used 2 different brushes. I've used a softer brush, and I've used like a makeup style brush as well to blend my colours together. I'm now using a Peartree Cut File stencil. This is Star Spiral in 6x6, and I am using that just to put some stars where that colour is poking out. So I'm using the same colour, that mowed lawn, but I'm using it in a much thicker, putting much more colour on the page to make a stronger colour, so that you can see those stars on top of the colour that I've already blended to the page. That paper there has got some awesome spider's webs on it. You can just about see them. And then I love this eye paper, and it just makes that cut file pop off the page in the black there. I also decided to tuck in some extra little bits of green just to give those extra layers, and I am going to ruffle those up in a little while as well. So just tucking those in. I'm not bothered at the moment that you can see kind of edges and things where the green stops, because I know that's going to be covered up by my photographs. I just want to curl those up and give it lots of texture and lots of that kind of distressed look. I've now decided I'm going to back my cut file. I didn't originally want to back it at all, but then, because I don't want to put a colour behind it, I think it stands out really well just in black by itself, so I've decided to just back it with vellum. One of my favourite things to do actually is to back cut files with vellum. I think you can make shaker pockets using the vellum as well. I'm not going to do a shaker pocket today, but it gives a softer effect to the cut file. It does make it stand out a little bit better on top of any patterned paper that you might have used, but it also kind of it still allows the patterned paper to come through, because I love those eyes in the background on that paper that I've used that spreads across the page. I think those eyes are brilliant, so I want to be able to see them, but I still want the effect of the cut file being there, so vellum's a fantastic one. So I'm just using my scissors now to carefully trim all the way around the outside. Sometimes I back cut files by drawing around the inside of the letters and then cutting them out a bit bigger than, like outside of my line, and then sticking them on. But because it's vellum, it's a little bit fiddly. I find it much easier to kind of stick it all down to start with and then cut it out. I am cutting out behind the cobwebs. I am just backing the letters themselves. I'm not doing the rest of it. I'm not going to do like a big kind of like the whole thing, and I love the effect. I think it works really, really well. Just while I'm fussy cutting around this cut file, so I've gone off camera there, I will mention that all the other links to everybody else's videos in the YouTube hop are in my description box below. You'll find mostly channel links rather than video links, so just have a look for that thumbnail on the other people's channels, that little bit spooky thumbnail that was at the beginning of my video, and you'll find everybody else's. Everyone is scrapping along to the same theme. I love YouTube hops like this that kind of give you everyone's different takes on the same theme. I think they're fabulous. So just cutting out the middle of the K's there, and now I'm just going to pop on the middle of the P as well. I wasn't going to put it on, then I decided it needed it. So I love the way that looks, just gives a softer effect. I'm going to use more of the cobweb paper now to mat my two photographs, and use my scissors to run around the outside of them to give a distressed edge. I don't like straight, perfectly cut edges. I've also left the bottom of the piece of cardstock completely ruffled, completely ripped at the bottom, so it just gives a softer effect. I'm now going to use these gold letters to spell out the name of my little doggy there, Bella. Bella's my little companion at home since I've been able to go out to work because of my an injury that I've had. So she's my companion. She's been absolutely awesome. She literally follows me around wherever I go. And she's the most laid back, happy, caring little thing. She's just amazing. So I love scrapping photographs of her. I've decided I want to put some green behind the photographs as well. So I'm going to tie it in with what I've done on the rest of the page as well. I'm not going to use any of the eye paper, that white paper, because I want to save it. I've only got one piece of it. I so should have bought more. I've only got one piece of that. It's from an old Pebbles collection from last year, and I really, really wish I had some more. Right, I've set those down a bit winky wonky. I like to stick my mats down winky wonky, and I have added some adhesive foam to the back, and now some sticky, double-sided sticky as well off my tape runner to stick those down, and I'm going to put my cut file over the top. Now this is a little bit unconventional for me, because normally I stick my cut files down properly, but as you'll watch here, I've literally put glossy accents on the edge of the Y and the edge of the S, because I want to wrap it over the top of my photographs, and I want that overlapping effect, but I can't put any dimensional foam behind it because it's got a thin edge and it's backed in vellum, so you would be able to see what I was doing. So I've literally put glossy accents at both ends and just kind of hold it down like a little band, and it works perfectly. So I'm really happy with how that stuck down. Using some Ellie Studio stickers now from their latest, their release in, I think it was their September release. Some little black and white stickers here, and two little cobwebs that I've tucked in, and that little trick or treat sign. Now that trick or treat sign I want to pop up, so I'm just going to get some adhesive foam and pop that on the back, and that's going to go down in that bottom right hand corner there. And now I've got some of the cardstock stickers from Pebbles, again from last year, so I want some of the little bats from there, and I've decided to put the moon on in that top left hand corner, because on Bella's little hat that she's wearing, she's so good for letting me dress her up, on her little hat are little moons and stars and things, so I thought that would fit perfectly. I've put a little broomstick behind the trick or treat sign, another bat there as well. And then we've got some stars that I'm going to pop round. A whole variety of things that I'm popping on. This is my favourite bit of making layouts. Kind of once everything's together, these are the finishing touches. Using some Peartree pieces now, some little felt stars in different green colours just to tie everything together. I'm going to just pop those in little random places around. Little cauldron there that's in black glitter. I think I've put a little witchy hat on as well. Now I've got some little Peartree bits. These are little acrylic pieces, so these are little spiders. Apologies if you don't like spiders, look away now. I put 3 on, I think, in total. I've got one at either side on the little cobwebs there, and I'm going to put one at the bottom, sort of dangling off the bottom of the page, just similar to how it's dangling off of the cut file as well. Put a couple of googly eyes from Doodlebug in my spooky. And then just going to flick through some of this ephemera this is from last year. I've never even opened it. Kind of saving it for those perfect layouts. I don't have masses and masses of Halloween stuff, but I do love to make Halloween layouts. So I think there may be some more dressing up happening this year, just so that I can play around and do some more layouts. So I'm going to put a little hat there on the one of the eyeballs. I think that looks quite cute. And then a couple more bats as well. little potion bottle tucked in there. And then I think I do look at that little candelabra thing, but I take that out again. It's not quite right. I'm going to go now and put some glue on the middle of the bats, but I've put a little dimensional foam pad on each of the bats' wings so that it looks more movementy. It looks like it's moving. And now I'm putting some dimensional pads on the back of the moon as well, just to make that pop off the page. I try to give dimension without giving too much so that it doesn't bulk out my albums to a crazy level, but it does give that sense of dimension. Now I'm just going around with my glossy accents. Got a wonderful fine tipped nozzle on my glossy accents, which I adore. I think is amazing. But using my little paperweight there just to hold down one of the acrylic pieces, just to make sure it doesn't move while the glossy accent dries. A few more dimensional pads on that hat as well. Just going to go there, and that's stuck down now. Happy with that. And then a bit more ruffling. And then the last thing I'm going to do is grab some black paint. This is Liquitex acrylic ink in black, and I'm going to do some flatters because layouts are never finished in my book unless they have splatters. I love to splatter. So a few little black splatters to finish it off, and a little line for my spider to dangle from. And then I'm just going to put the date at the bottom, October 2021. And that's my layout finished. I love how it's turned out. Thank you again to Rebecca for the inspiration for this one. I loved her original and loved creating my version of it. Please do make sure you pop down to the description box below, where I will put links to the things I've used, and I will also make sure there are all the links to all the other people's channels who have taken part in this YouTube hop. Thank you for joining me. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope my layout has inspired you just like Rebecca's inspired me. And I will see you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.